Brett Kavanaugh's youth had been spent getting men drunk and violently robbing them, he would never have been offered the job. While assaulting men would disqualify him for a judgeship, assaulting women isn't an automatic disqualifier. Getting women drunk and sexually assaulting them is, by many Republicans, considered okay behavior for a potential Supreme Court judge. Should we really be considering a man for a seat on the Supreme Court who was known, by many, to have thrust his penis in a woman's face? As they say, the victim was drunk. There are no other crimes except sex crimes in which the victim's sobriety is required to convict the perpetrator. No other assault victim is said to have asked for it. If a bank president is drunk at the time of a robbery, can the robbery be excused because he was just asking for it? Why is it less ridiculous to suggest that a drunken woman was asking for it? Presidential advisor Kellyanne Conway claimed or admitted that she had been a victim of a sexual assault. But then she said, you have to be responsible for your own conduct. Are victims of other assaults to blame for not being responsible, or just sexual assaults for which the victim's responsible? Is no one guilty of any crime if the victim wasn't behaving responsibly? If a gang of robbers pushes into a house, ties up the residents, and steals everything, are the victims responsible? Are they to be blamed for answering the doorbell, or living in too big a house, or too nice a house, or perhaps they were drinking alcohol before the robbery? If the robbers are caught, can their lawyer claim that the victims were asking for it, or that the perpetrators were too drunk to really remember? Should the perpetrators be excused if they're family men with wife and children? Some of the Republicans are more concerned that the charges of sexual assault might prevent the judge from coaching his daughter's team. Now, we know the Republicans think coaching your daughter's sports team is a get-out-of-jail card. How could you possibly have been a drunken rapist when he was in school? He coached kids. Why don't you ask the Olympic women's gymnastic team if coaching youth has been an indication of pure motives? Quite the contrary. For all we know, the FBI is already questioning some of the judge's daughter's teammates. Yeah, the other alibi they offer is that Kavanaugh's a family man. You know, he's a family man. Charles Manson was a family man. Now, there are Republicans who claim his behavior isn't as important as long as he isn't a convicted rapist. You know, as long as he's not convicted, even then they're going to vote for him for the good of the fetuses. Because this is all about fetuses. All of that suffering, it's about fetuses. This is like saying he was known by all to steal the tip money from restaurant tables, but he's never been convicted of mugging a waiter. The Republicans even want to avoid the term rape. They describe the judge's crime as just horseplay or bra snapping. Boys will be boys is the excuse. That works for white boys only. Try getting a break by saying black boys will be black boys. If the man was accused of robbing me, would his defenders say it was just wallet pinching, liberating my money, forced sharing? Would they say it's no big deal, not an actual robbery, but merely consensual rough philanthropy? I want to thank you very much. This is Project The Rant.